Hello, everyone. This is Eric Spearman for another session of Black History Exposed for Enlightenment and Encouragement. Today, we're going to discuss a few people of our history. And the first person we're going to discuss, this gentleman's name is Matthew Alexander Henson. Matthew Alexander Henson. He was born in 1866 and lived to 1955. Okay, that's Matthew Alexander Henson. So Matthew Alexander Henson accompanied Admiral Robert Peary to the North Pole in 1909. And according to Peary's son, Kelly, Peary could not have reached the North Pole actually without Matthew Henson. That's how vital Matthew Henson ended up being. Henson's most valuable contribution to the expedition was befriending the Eskimo people, which he learned some things from as far as survival skills. So he taught Peary how to hunt for food, build a sledge, and drive a dog sled. So folk history has it that Henson was the first to actually reach the North Pole, but the discovery was attributed entirely to Peary. So part of this of Black history many times is things that we never got credit for. So Matthew Alexander Henson was the one that showed Admiral Robert Peary how to survive in the North Pole in 1909. So we just want to give Matthew Alexander Henson some exposure here, and that's him. He lived from 1866 to 1955, and he was an explorer. So another part of Black history. Another part of Black history here is Mr. Ronald McNair. Ronald McNair was an astronaut. He lived from 1950 to 1986. On February 3rd, 1984, mission specialist Dr. Ronald McNair and his fellow crew members on Space Shuttle Mission 41-B executed the first runway landing of the Challenger at the Kennedy Space Center. McNair, a laser physicist who also played a key role in the mission's first activating for the Manned Maneuvering Unit. He operated the Canadian arm. He also positioned crew members around the Challenger's payload, and he performed numerous mid-deck experiments. In his spare time in space, Ronald McNair actually played the saxophone and did like a little jazz concert for his fellow astronauts with a saxophone. Also, he did that in space, the first to do that in space. So McNair's advanced research in laser technology has been instrumental in advancing the uses of lasers. On his last Challenger mission, Ronald McNair was responsible for the Spartan Halley, a satellite designed to track the orbit of Halley's Comet. Unfortunately, that flight ended in a tragic explosion on January 28th, 1986. But Ronald McNair, astronaut. Okay, Ronald McNair. These two gentlemen, Dr. Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. I'm sorry, I got it upside down. I apologize. Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale, Black Panthers. Huey P. Newton lived from 1942 to 1989, and Bobby Seale was born in 1937 and is still alive according to my latest knowledge. Okay, but anyway, they wore black leather. They carried weapons and declaimed their own intention to use any means necessary to defend themselves in the urban African American communities. They wore the Black Panthers, founded in 1966 in Oakland, California. Okay, and Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale, what they did was they were advisory board members of a neighborhood anti-poverty center where they formed the Black Panthers. So their image and their rhetoric exemplify the most militant expression of Black power. Yet their goals were the same as those of the Civil Rights Movement. All they were looking for was justice, freedom, dignity, and self-determination. Although the media emphasized their militancy, the Black Panthers themselves emphasized their constitutional rights to bear arms. They ran several programs valuable to poor communities, and they provided free breakfast for children, clothing, and education in basic legal rights in African American history. So rarely are they mentioned by the press as far as the positive things that they actually were doing. A lot of times the press has tried to make it look like they were just about militancy, but instead they were about the constitutional rights, again, to the right to bear arms. They also did a lot of great things out in the community. Again, breakfast, education. They taught legal rights, and they did a lot of great things out in the community. And they taught, our people to have self-respect. And so that is the Black Panther Party, particularly Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. And the last gentleman we're going to talk about today, his name was Jack Johnson. He was a prize fighter, or what you know as a boxer. Jack Johnson lived from 1878 to 1946. In 1908, Jack Johnson became the first black prize fighter to win the World Heavyweight Championship when he defeated Tommy Burns in Sydney, Australia. Outraged by the white boxing establishment, they began searching for a great white hope to return the title to a white champion. Many challengers got into the ring with Johnson over the next 7 years, including Jim Jeffries, champion from 1899 to 1905, who came out of retirement to fight him. But Jack Johnson defeated them all. The day before Johnson defended his title against Jim Flynn in 1912, he received a note that read, "Lie down tomorrow or we'll string you up," which was the Ku Klux Klan, the KKK, that tried to threaten him. So his ability to hit hard with either hand, his flawless defense, and his superb balance are, according to some experts, unmatched. To this day, Johnson, there's been not been too many boxers that have been paralleled as far as greatness like Jack Johnson. Okay, so that's Jack Johnson. So he was the first black prize fighter to win the championship, and he was in the heavyweight division, by the way. Okay, so people like Muhammad Ali said that they got a lot of inspiration from Jack Johnson. Okay, so that is our Black History lesson and sessions for today for these 4 characters. I hope this helps as far as any type of encouragement, enlightenment, and let you know some of the parts of Black history that have not been really talked about much. So that's it for today. Well, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. All right. Love, peace, and good success. Take care.